Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. And today I get to interview my friend Brad Byrd, who is a founder and entrepreneur. His main company, although he has multiple, his main company that overarches them is called Wadestone. And there's something he wants you to know about them, but first, or about him. But first, Brad, welcome to the show.
Hey, Johnny, this is really fun to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
It's special to have you, especially since you and I are very similar. Like we like have battles about who's going to ask the questions.
That's
He's such a
that's true.
curious
I mean, we
question.
were, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the first thing you want somebody to know about you, if they did not know you at all, is your love for Jesus.
Amen.
Can you tell us a little bit about where that came from and how that developed and became the priority in your life?
Yeah, I had the privilege of meeting the Lord early in my life, and over time, He just kind of grew that love for Him. Um, the opportunities He gave me to deploy that overseas, in both business environments as well as straight kind of more traditional mission environments were just an impetus to grow my love for him more and my love
Yeah.
for people to know him. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
man.
kind of where that's all come from.
Was there a moment or was it just progressive over time?
There was a moment I remember when I was a child, but a child's faith is not, a 57-year-old man's faith. There,
Yeah.
or it shouldn't be
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it is, it's
Yeah.
it's stunted. So I remember a moment as a child, but over the years, the challenges the Lord's given me, the people He's put in my life, that faith has grown and matured,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
pray is more honoring to the Lord. So it has definitely been a process, but there was a moment in time, and I don't think the process is over. I'm still
No, it's definitely not.
still moving forward, still growing.
You're definitely on this earth and we're on mission in transformation. I think you'd agree with me on that.
Absolutely.
Um, all right, my man. So let's hear a little bit about your origin story then. Like how did you become? What were some of the key moments that made you the man that you are today?
Yeah, a couple different things. I went to college thinking I was going to do one thing, and the Lord just kept redirecting me. I had a heart for making as much money as I possibly could,
Yeah,
and being all about me.
yeah,
And as the Lord just kept humbling me and changing my direction, he transformed what I was going to do into what I'm doing today. So I started out thinking I was going to do one thing. I ended up doing something completely different. And ironically, during that process, the Lord used some of those personal desires of my heart to actually allow me to do the things that I ended up doing.
wow,
Um, and so I had a pretty extensive time overseas doing business as mission.
yeah,
Um, and that was incredibly fulfilling. It led me, one of the businesses I started was a publishing company.
yeah,
And that wasn't because I had a heart for publishing. It was just one of the businesses we needed to do in the business as mission um, kind of trial at that point. And I didn't know that was going to have an impact later in my life. Fast forward 30 years, and I was leading a publishing brand here in the US, developing that company. Gained, looked back at the experience that I had in my early 20s and realized that was foundational for what the Lord was preparing me for. And then
crazy,
I've been in Christian publishing ever since.
man. That is cool. So you're currently in Christian publishing.
I am. Yeah. I operate as an acquisitions director, as an agent, and I have founded a small Christian publishing company that we're trying to do some innovative things with.
All right. So that's I want to know about both of those.
Okay.
So maybe as an entry point into it, like what do you love about your job? The first thing you described as acquisitions as an agent.
hmm
What makes you good at that?
I think
What do you?
what makes me good at it, I think, is I can spot a story that's going to be transformational. I can talk to an author and hear their heart and see, okay, how are we going to bring that to a full-blown book that's going to transform people's lives for the kingdom. Because
Yeah.
that's really what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And the way I like to think about those stories and what I get to do is I get to be a steward. I get to be a steward of that talent.
Yeah.
So that author has a talent that the Lord has given them, and I get to help them not bury it in the ground, but multiply it times 10.
Yeah.
And I get super pumped about that.
Yeah. I can tell. Because that's your mechanism for creating multiplication in the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Like you get to be a part of. I think you're like me. Like you took my superpower quest, and so I'm a connector dreamer.
Yeah.
You're a dreamer connector. That's how you self-identify.
Yeah.
Which is big picture, abstract. But like dreamers, we want to do big things.
We do.
Right?
We do. We want to do things that have an impact.
Yeah.
We want to do something that makes a difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It lights me up, and that's not a prideful thing.
No. No. I think our motivation isn't for self-gratification. Our motivation is for God's glorification.
Yeah, man. Yep. Preach it, brother. Preach it. So that's what makes you good. Okay, that's interesting. This fits so much with even the energy and the experience I have with you. Is that you can spot the story. Okay, you can spot the story. That's the curiosity that I notice in you.
Yeah,
You're curious.
yeah.
You ask a lot of questions. You
I
want to
dig
know.
out those nuggets that
You dig out the nuggets.
take, kind of unearth them.
Yep. And then you're actually stewarding the talent. So you're actually, I guess there's two ways to look at that, right? Stewarding the person as the person that has the talent.
Yeah.
To try to cultivate them into bearing fruit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you described it also as helping them steward their own talent.
Yeah, because not only do they have to be able to write the story and, share the message that they have to be able to put that out there beyond just getting it into a printed form. Creating a book, a lot of people could do that. But then actually getting it in front of people, putting it out there so that the world gets the ability to spot it, see it, buy it, read it, be transformed by it, that you have to really coach somebody in that. Not all authors understand that. Not all authors want to do that. A lot of authors feel really embarrassed by that and feel it's kind of icky. And my job is to help them see, look, if the Lord gave you this message, we need to get that out there as far and as wide as we possibly can, because you need to steward that for the glory of God and the good of others. And the only way you do that is by telling people about it, by standing behind what you've written, and by being excited about it.
Yeah, man.
And that doesn't mean, it's all about you. It means it's all about the message that's between those pages.
That's so good, man. And it resonates deeply with me because I've been through this process.
Yeah, you've written a book.
And I self-published.
Yep.
And just like you said, and it's hard to get a book out into the world.
It is
hard.
It is not an easy thing.
It's very hard. But then you find that that's only half the battle.
Yeah.
Less than half the battle. Because now it's, okay, now how do I get this book in front of people?
Right.
That's a harder problem a lot of times.
It is.
For a person. I'm sure it's a harder problem. And for me, it's been like, okay, I had an understanding going into it. Am I willing to go and spend the next 5 years of my life pushing this message?
Mm-hmm.
Through whatever channels I have, through LinkedIn, through Substack, and so, but it's much harder than writing a book.
It is, and there's just a lot of elements to it that most people don't realize.
Yeah, it's very complex. So that's your role as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
An acquisitions agent. When you say acquisitions, what does acquisitions mean? Does it mean acquiring the rights to?
Well, that means it really means acquiring talent. So finding the author that has something they want to say, finding the ministry that maybe a story or book comes out of, really acquiring that for a particular publisher. So as a result, I may acquire a particular author for publisher A, but they may not fit publisher B or C. But my acquisition works well for A. So that's kind of how the acquisitions kind of thing works. I'm the one scanning the horizons, looking for that next new thing, that next kind of transformative message,
Yeah.
and, kind of picking that up so that the publishers then can, put a magnifying glass on it.
Man, that's cool. So I didn't realize that. So you actually work with a variety of different publishing companies.
I do. Yeah.
That you could then send people over. And so that, and there's I think what you're maybe opening my mind to is that there's a job that is a job that people have.
Yeah, that is a job. Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes that job works within one publishing company. So, you might be an acquisitions director for publishing company A,
Yeah.
or you might do acquisitions just in general, where you're, connecting with people, finding talent, and you're trying to help them find the publisher that fits them best.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time doing a lot of acquisitions for one particular company, but then a lot of the stuff that I come across doesn't fit with them. So I'm also channeling it towards other places where those people's message might fit better.
So how does a person in your position find the stories? Like, where do you go to find the people that have the fire and have the transformational message that you're looking for?
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of Christian conferences.
Yeah.
I read a lot of blogs.
Yeah.
It's those are the top three things where I find authors that maybe they're published already by a smaller house or an independent. They've done an independent thing like you've done, or maybe they're speaking on a particular topic that I know fits within a publishing program of another publisher, and they may be known for one message, but they're speaking at a conference on another message. And so I know, that talk is going to turn into a book that publisher C really wants in their catalog.
Wow. And do you enjoy the research, like the actual listening and discovery part? Do you enjoy that part?
I enjoy it to a point. What I enjoy is hearing something that I get excited about and then connecting with that person and helping them flesh that out. I enjoy it in so much that it gets me in front of that particular person, and that relationship and that connection then begins.
Bro, you're like a loving loudspeaker.
I've never heard it put that way, but that's an interesting way to put it.
I can see just the delight that's in you when you talk about this, and so it's like I zero in on that, and so it's like you hear somebody say something. And they you can tell, they know this is in their guts.
Yeah.
Right. You can tell. I can hear that too. Like this is in their guts. And then you also have a understanding of the context, like the world of publishing. Mm-hmm. And so you can tell if a certain message is like, the world needs this message right now, or there's a channel in which this message is going to resonate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they might not even know. Right.
Yeah. They could be completely unaware, not even thinking about writing a book or putting it out there. It's just something that's coming out of them. Yeah.
And so then you're going to actually be a link in the chain to help draw that out of them and potentially into a book they never even knew that they were going to write.
Yeah.
It reminds me, I've got a friend named Alan Briggs who just wrote a book called The Sabbatical Journey because he was seeing how sabbaticals, he was deeply impacted by a sabbatical that was gifted to him at a certain point in his career.
Wow.
And it was life-changing. And so he's developed basically a process around both how the institution can think of sabbatical and how the professional can think of sabbatical in such a way that it's actually a productive sabbatical that benefits both parties.
Yeah.
And it's all, based off of biblical principles of rest.
Right. So has he published that? Has he put that out into the world?
He's published it. Yeah.
Okay.
He's put it out into the world. He self-published it.
Interesting.
But that's out in the world. But it's like what you're describing. Like he's getting ahead of the conversation, right? He sees the conversation heating up around sabbatical. He sees that people are starting to care about that, and he got ahead of it and wrote the book. Now he's published a bunch of books before, so he's a person who is paying attention to the landscape and himself.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think most people are. Most people that might have a passion like him need a catalyst. I need a catalyst.
Yeah, they need a catalyst, or they need somebody. I guess this is kind of like a catalyst. They need a cheerleader. They need somebody to feel like there is to give them confidence, because a lot of people have an idea and are excited, but they're like, oh, I can never write a book. I can never, put this out there. But I'm excited about this idea, and I'm going to tell my friends. So they need somebody to come alongside them and say, look, this needs to go wider. You need to really knuckle down and put this into something that is going to be digested by a lot more people.
Your message matters.
Yeah, your message.
This thing that's inside of you matters,
exactly.
And it can transform the world. It can transform more people than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, this gets me so pumped, bro. The other person I'm gonna throw out is a guy named Steve Woodworth, who just wrote a book. He's another friend of mine. He's the founder of Masterworks, which is in the Christian nonprofit space.
Okay.
And he wrote a book on success. He wrote a book on succession, nonprofit
That's
succession. Yeah, and it's called the something journey, the transition. Oh man, I'm forgetting the title, but
Steve Woodward is his name.
Steve Woodworth.
Woodworth.
Yeah, great guy to have on your radar. I got many more for you, but he just published his book, and it's like same thing. He saw, in his estimation, 50% of successions that he was privy to, and he's privy to a lot because he works with nonprofits.
I see. Yeah.
50% of them went badly, and like 30% of them went horrifically badly.
Wow.
And he was like, "Why?"
Yeah.
And so as he was exploring succession for himself, for his own business, he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna dig into this and write a book about it," and he did.
Very cool.
And the world needs that book.
Yeah, definitely. I see a lot of businesses that don't have great succession plans.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to get right.
A lot of churches don't have great succession plans. So that just is a disaster as well. And it's important.
Yep. It's good stuff, man. So I think I have a good sense. So how would I articulate your superpower? Because I see it, right? As we're listening, as I'm drawing it out of you, you get so excited drawing out the story. The story is a part of it.
Yeah.
Drawing out the stories that are in other people, and then amplifying or creating the opportunity or being a catalyst or a cheerleader for that story to be broadcast from a larger stage.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe stewarding the stories of others.
Yeah.
Does that kind of resonate? Does that land?
Yeah, it does. Yep. Stewarding the stories. Yes. I think that's a good way to put it. And there's a valuing that's there.
Yeah.
Like you might get more excited about it initially than they do.
Yeah.
Because you see it.
Yeah. The funny thing is, you're also stewarding also kind of takes into account whether it's valuable or not.
Yeah, it does.
So there's a lot of people who their story is important, but it's not going to have the impact that another storyteller might have. It's great. The Lord has gifted it for them for that moment.
Yep.
But it's not the right story to put out there on the world stage, or it's not going to have that transformational impact. And that's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit's doing that transformation.
Absolutely.
But some people, I have to say, your story's great. It's just not a story that needs a whole book. Yeah. It may need a blog post. It may be a tweet, but it's not a whole book. And the best stewardship of you and your time may not be to grind and, try to put something out there that's not going to land.
That's where discernment comes in.
I suppose, yeah.
Right? Because you're able to discern, okay, this has legs to this level, and this has legs to this other level.
Yeah.
And you don't want people to be wasting their time.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, I can hear that part of it too, right? And that's part of the stewarding the stories in others, right? Like, yeah. No, I don't think you should publish a book. I think you should write a blog.
Yeah.
And that blog will be good.
Yeah. And it'll help people. But it's not a book.
So where does that happen? So I get how that works, how that special gift works in the publishing space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you give me an example of how that works outside of the publishing space, where you get the same feeling, the same sense of joy and effectiveness that you're operating in the gift, but it's not publishing?
I think some places where I get to do that same kind of thing is in kind of discipleship opportunities I have with other people at in the church I participate in, and the church I'm a member of. There's people that I can encourage and really come alongside and really bless them by being that kind of coach and steward. I get to be a lay pastor for the church that I'm a part of, and that means we have opportunities to come alongside people all the time.
Yeah, man.
Maybe it's stewarding a marriage that is challenged. Maybe it's stewarding somebody who's struggling through a business decision or a family crisis. And it's that same idea of coming alongside them, building them up, helping them understand and discern what the Lord's doing in their life. So.
Yeah, I see it, bro. And you're having to get the story. You have to get the story. You have to get to the, what's going, because I can imagine.
You got to get behind it. Yeah. You got to ask a lot of questions, because people aren't obviously transparent all the time. And just like in a book, there's layers. You're kind of revealing things little by little, where you're bringing the reader along. It's the same kind of thing when you're discipling somebody. You're revealing layer after layer after layer, and you're bringing them along kind of spiritually and in their own mind, because they don't always see what's going on in their own.
Bro, what a gift you are in the world, man. That's a blessing, man. Praise God for you, dude. Praise God that you, because I also sense a kindred spirit with you.
Yeah.
You're a listener. You love to listen.
I do.
You could listen more than talk and be okay with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it honors somebody to listen to them.
It does.
Yeah.
Right? What's the greatest gift you can give somebody? In some sense, it's your attention, because if you're giving your attention, you're giving your life.
Yeah. And that time is valuable. You're never going to get it back again. So are you willing to give that up for that other person?
Connectors rule, man.
Amen.
Rule. What happens when a connector interviews a connector, man? This is what happens.
It's all back and forth.
Yeah. So I feel like I've got a great sense of who you love. Well, because one of my questions was, who do you love and who do you help? Well, let's sit there, because I feel like we've gotten close, but let's tie a bow on it. Who do you love and who do you help? Who are you drawn to?
I mean, that's complicated. I mean, who do I love? I love a lot of people. There's a lot of people in my life that are important to me. I love that person who has the story.
Yes.
Who has something to say.
Yes.
Because there's just so much there that's rich and layered. I love that person because they're created in the image of God, and I love the thing that they are maybe walking through or being, built up in, and how we unpack that.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if that answers your question.
It totally answers the question, man, and it's just so consistent. I love the person who has a story. You value the story.
Yeah.
Right? You long for the story to reach its potential.
Absolutely.
And for the person to reach their potential.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great. That's great, man. And then the how you help, I feel like you've shown us, listening, encouraging, discerning.
Yeah. So I help the person that way in very, kind of ethereal ways. Those you can't touch those, you can't feel those.
Right.
And then, if it's an author, like we're talking about, that there's another layer of help that's way more practical, in getting them to the right audience and that kind of thing. So,
Yep. Connecting them with the right publisher.
Yeah.
Who's serving the right audience.
Exactly.
Walking them through the complicated journey, because it is a complex journey. I know this firsthand. So many moving pieces.
Yeah.
Got to get right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, what a blessing, bro. What a blessing. So, let's move now to what you want to accomplish in the world. So I like this part's called Big Dreams, Little Goals.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to hear either or both. Big dreams and little goals.
Yeah. Big dreams. I mean, I really want to do the thing that we've been talking about, finding those stories that transform people's lives. So that's a big dream. Just really practically, I'd love to see Wadestone and the other businesses that I'm working on succeed and excel, because I think if they do, then that just creates more opportunity for me to steward more stories. So the two, so Wadestone is one, and it's kind of the overarching agent publishing acquisitions. I have a podcast marketing company which helps podcasters monetize their stories, helps them create income, which then makes their reach bigger and they can go further with the stories that God's given them. I work primarily with Christian podcasters. And then we've created this new publishing company that is working in the AI space, trying to develop new things and find new stories. So,
all right, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because that's one of the things that really lights you up the most, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, let's hear about the publishing company.
Yeah, it's called Summit Stories. It's really in its infancy. We're working on content, both public domain content and adding enhancements to it. Maybe we've got a story like the Hardy Boys, and we're adding things like review questions and kind of science experiments and things like that maybe we could put into a homeschool curriculum, but it's focused around the story of this investigative, these two brothers are investigating mysteries.
Yeah.
It's taking classics like Jane Eyre or the Anne of Green Gables and putting kind of reader's guides along them that bring out the spiritual element of the story. And help people understand that there's a spiritual kind of component to something that is written there. Yeah, so it's that. And then it's also looking for stories that might be not published yet, that a lot of podcasts are doing serial fiction and taking those things and turn them into publishable works.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's why I was pointing you towards Substack, because there's a lot of people doing that on Substack.
I've been trying to mine Substack for some of that fiction out there, and I think there's some good stuff out there. Yeah.
Very, very interesting stuff on Substack, man. That's cool. So I hear two elements of this business. One element is more value add.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's taking existing works out there and teasing out the spiritual significance of it through resources that, like I love. So it sounds like that the client for that, or the end user for that, is like a homeschool parent or co-op, who maybe they want, like, which to me is genius in a sense, right? Because maybe it's like, all right, here's a user guide for how the Christian ethics of the movie The Matrix.
Yes.
Right? Or the things of that story that resonate with or reflect scriptural Christian realities.
Yeah.
And now you're taking something that maybe a kid could be more open to in some ways, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know if that's what you mean exactly, but I'm maybe going a little further.
And it's really interesting. I mean, you use the example of The Matrix. There's a lot of storytelling that happens out there in the world and media in general. Yeah. And because we're made in the image of God, whether we're saved or we're not, there are elements that reflect God's image.
Absolutely.
And how do we shine a light on those? How do we bring those to the surface? And then how do we talk about it? How do we have a discussion about it, or create something that then prompts somebody's spirit to be challenged, or for the Holy Spirit to build on? I think that's a really cool opportunity that we have.
And so I assume then you're leveraging AI
we are.
to help make it so that you can create more of that kind of content.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because volume is going to be a big
It is going to be a
part
huge
of the play.
part of the equation. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so does it end up being a content library or something like that, or a subscription? Like, what does that product end up looking like?
Yeah. Right now we're we're still in the development phase. So some of that will be streaming. So, it might be an ebook that you can stream. Some of it will be a published actual physical product that will be in the stores.
Yep.
And some of it may just be, kind of a wraparound product that is available online.
Are there, and so when you say public domain, is that because because it could get complicated if you're trying to get the rights to create?
It could be complicated and expensive. And right now, for example, our industry, the publishing industry, is absolutely terrified of AI.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm kind of testing the waters with content that isn't part of that doesn't have a current rights holder. So we can test the waters with a public domain resource that is out of copyright without creating too much expense and causing too much of a stir. So we're trying to kind of use that resource of material to kind of proof text our idea.
That makes a lot of sense. And so that's one part of the business. The other part of the business is actually going and finding storytellers.
Yeah, like on Substack or
who are telling compelling fiction stories.
Yeah,
fictional.
Primarily fiction, because that's a lot of where those serialized episodes are. They're in fiction.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of nonfiction in podcasting on business ideas, real estate investment, that kind of thing too. So that is a little bit harder to distill down into a book unless they've intentionally created their episodes like a chapter. Where fiction, there's a lot of episodic fiction that's out there in the podcast space or in the Substack space.
So what's the overlap between those two businesses? Because they seem kind of distinct, right? The one which is more value add, public domain, more like a content library, if you will, or more like a published study guide or something like that. And the other, which is kind of taking stories that exist that already have a head of steam on them, right? Because it's serial fiction, so there's no lack of content that's already actually come out. It just needs to be taken that next step to turn into a book.
Yeah.
What's the through line between those?
The idea is we're taking. I think the through line is we're using AI for both of them. So how do we take new things and old things and use something outside of both AI to bring it to an audience?
Okay. All right. So to get it, and I imagine that helps with getting it in the right format.
Yeah.
That helps with
formatting, typesetting, marketing. It kind of discoverability. We're using all those kind of ideas through AI.
So, I want to pick your brain about that later. So I want to know more about that because that makes sense. There, like right when we were doing our books, it was kind of early in the advent of AI,
right?
And so there was a lot of things that I thought, we probably could eventually do that with AI.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. We just had to do it through the channels that were available to us at that time.
Yeah.
I wonder how far AI has come. I mean, it's come a long way.
It has, yeah. I mean, I don't know when you started, but yeah.
So I imagine there's a lot in terms of layout, proofreading, high and low level edit.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine cover design. Yeah. Dude.
Photography, kind of situational photography, just a lot of ways that can be used. And there's still a human element in all this. And what I'm not advocating that we get rid of designers and, typesetters and copy editors. I think that those jobs still need to be there. But if you're doing something on a lower budget or trying to kind of begin to develop something, I think there's a lot of tools that you can use and tap into. Again, it's stewarding resources. How do you steward it, in the best possible way?
Well, one of the leading AI geniuses that I know that's in my own sphere, who's a friend of mine, has told me AI presents the greatest opportunity for people with deep contextual knowledge of a complex system or industry, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you have deep contextual knowledge of publishing
Mm.
and
Mhm.
how it works.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you wield AI, you're wielding AI with knowledge of nuance and intuition. Like you have nuance and intuition that AI doesn't have.
Right. Right.
Like a person like that doesn't have your context and is like, I'm going to use AI to create a publishing whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the problem is they're not going to be able to have the high level discernment to direct AI towards the best outcomes, and it needs that.
Right.
Right. So no, that makes a lot of sense. So that was big dream. How about little goal? What's a little goal that you have?
Little goal. Little goal. I want to acquire 10 new stories in the remainder of the year and get them out into the world.
By the end of the year, you said?
Yeah. Yeah.
10 new stories by
Get
end
them
of year.
into a publishing pipeline. Yeah.
Into a publishing pipeline. And this is with the second thing, because you're an agent, a general agent,
Yeah.
and then there's your own company.
Yeah.
This is within the context of your own company, correct?
No, for me, it's pretty fluid. So,
Okay.
yeah, I've got, were you asking for a little goal for my own company?
I'm asking for whatever you want to give me, but I'm just trying to qualify those 10 new stories. Are they the Substack stories or the podcast stories that you're finding and converting, right?
It's a mixture of all three.
Mixture.
So it's the Substack stories, the podcast stories, and just agenting general acquisitions.
Yeah, but you want 10 new because that's how you're making a difference in the world.
Yeah,
that's how you're getting right. Like you're creating transformation in the world through story.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is so good, man. So 10.
That's my goal for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and so like that's 10 more, right? Like it's not like you have 7 more of 10. Like it's 10 more.
That's 10 new things that are not on my radar right now.
That have to be vibrant conversations with authors you believe in.
Yeah. So that's a lot of time invested.
That is a lot of time investment, but yeah, I see. It's been a delight. This is going to seem a little bit abrupt because we've come to the end of time.
Yeah,
but,
it's good.
Brad, you're a delight, man, and the gift that is inside you is beautiful, man. I loved getting to spend time with you and your gift today.
This has been really fun. I appreciate it, and it's great to just feed off your enthusiasm because that's awesome and fun as well. I love how we just kind of jive together, so it's really good.
We do, man. We're a good fit, and I would say anybody out there that's aware of stories that need to be told, right? Like stories that need to be told. Brad is the guy, because Brad needs 10 of them. So yeah, especially I would imagine if you know somebody who has traction on a story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that. They're going to do it either way. But you could help weaponize. I don't know. Yeah, if that's the right word, but
let's say steward.
Steward is better than weaponize.
Yeah.
You could have steward that towards actually being something in the world.
Absolutely.
So everybody, thank you for joining us up to this moment. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.